overall, I'd say kids are not prioritizing their license like they were years ago.
No, not at all.
Right. I have ideas, the thoughts on why that is, but I want to hear yours first. We just went to the car lot to look for cars.
Yeah.
Because one of our sons just got their driver's license. Given, you got to put an asterisk by this because the pandemic had everybody in the house and the DMVs weren't doing driver's tests for a year and a half. But the boy's 19.
Yeah.
And I think in North Carolina, you could have got your license at 17, or was it like a sub license at 17 and you got to drive for a year or something like that?
I don't remember.
Either way.
For us, I got mine at 16. You got yours at 16?
No, I didn't. Mine, actually, I did mine different than most kids, but I know a lot of kids my age wanted their license the day that they were able to have it at their age.
Yeah.
You were that way?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I knew I wasn't going to have a car, so I wasn't tripping. Plus, I could walk across the street to school. I could walk behind the house to church. And
When did you get your license?
like not on the day. I got it in the year that
Of
I could.
16.
Within a year, I could have it, but
Okay.
not on the day I could get it. It was like it wasn't no big deal.
Okay.
Right? I knew I would get it eventually, and I was still on the permit, so it was all good.
It's strange how these things come up, like, as we're talking on camera. Like, this is a conversation we've never had. So in my mind, I just assumed you got your driver's license like I did. Like, I probably got it the day I turned 16.
Yeah, no, I wasn't there. But okay, so I grew up in New Jersey.
I grew up in California.
Right, it's different. I had a bike. Shoot, when I got on campus, I didn't have a bike anymore, and I remember clearly the day I was like, I need another bike. And from when I got me a bike, and I had that bike everywhere. People would know me as a guy who carried a camera and a guy who carried a bike seat around. That was just who I was because I was getting around
Bike
DC.
seat. Interesting.
Yeah, you can't because your bike will get stolen if
I
you
never
don't
saw
carry the
you
seat.
carrying a bike seat.
Right, because you didn't pay attention.
Yeah, okay.
All right, but here's the point. So in 2021 context, overall, I'd say kids are not prioritizing their license like they were years ago.
No, not at all.
Right. I have ideas, the thoughts on why that is, but I want to hear yours first. If we accept that premise that in general kids aren't really prioritizing their license as much as they were back then, what were some of the reasons you think might be?
I would say Uber. So with our kids, our 19-year-old who just got his license, for a while he was like, I'd rather just Uber or get rides with my friends. He wasn't really concerned about, getting his license. It wasn't that big of a deal to him. But I think we're trying to move him into adulthood. So with our daughter, she still doesn't have her license and she lives in a city. So like,
No, not a city. She lives in the
the
city.
Yeah. So it's
And
like,
everywhere you go in the United States, you say the city. Everybody know where she at.
Okay.
She in New York.
well, so you don't need it there. And it's more of a hassle to be driving out there where she is. She'd have to pay for parking. Like, you just don't want it there. So like, the biggest thing with, I think, younger kids today is they feel like we have that freedom in Uber. It's not a necessity to have a car and to have a license like it used to be.
Yeah, it's just an interesting phenomenon. And a couple things have happened in our time growing up. When we were in college, I clearly remember renting a car and driving to Florida.
Yeah.
Right? You did the same thing with your friends, right? So at that time, I was probably 19. You shouldn't be. In today's kind, you shouldn't have loaned me a car. Now, we got back safe. We popped one tire.
No accidents.
We did pop a tire.
Yeah.
But we popped a tire when we got back to DC because the roads are so bad,
Yeah.
right? But you could rent a car as a college student with nobody else's permission.
Yeah, that was
and
crazy.
no cosigner back in the day. You can't do that anymore. Insurance has made it, I guess, so that you can't even rent a car unless you're over 25.
Yeah.
And then that's the breaking age for insurance as well. Below 25, insurance is higher. Once you hit 25, the rates go down.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of that has developed since we got our license and in that time.
Yeah.
And so I don't know even if it was the case then, but now if you live in a house with your parents, let's say,
Right.
I don't even know if it's the same as if you're living in a house with a roommate, but there's a car there and you get your license, you now have to be insured. You have to pay because you got your license.
Right.
So I can understand why, for one, financial reasons, why Amir, who has depending on how much he's listened, and I don't know directly how much he's listened, but I have pumped financial philosophy into this dude from the time he could remember. That's part of the reason that he is one of his things. Like, I don't want to just I don't want to build any subscriptions into my life. And so
no, he does not.
Yeah, so now he wants to subscribe to Dad, You the Chauffeur at 19.
Yes. So we are actively trying to get him a car.
Yeah.
And we went car shopping yesterday.
Yeah. Watching him at the car lot was a complete different experience than you thought you'd see. And
Absolutely.
I understand what you thought you'd see. Oh man, I fell in love with this. Oh yeah, let me drive
I thought
it.
he was going to be like looking in the car windows like, wow, look at this one. It has this, it has that. He was just like, okay. It was so lackluster. Like a scale of 1 to 10, he was at a 2. He was at a 2.
Right.
I didn't expect that. I really thought we were going to be like at an 8 or a 9.
And it was a good moment for me because I saw, we complain about kids. All parents, I think, complain about their kids to some extent. But I was seeing the version of my son at the car lot yesterday. He was not concerned with the car. He was concerned with the numbers. He was running the green letters were coming down from the Matrix. All he saw was what does this mean in terms of my debt level and my necessity to have to keep working. And so he didn't care about what car it was, what color the seats were, He
Not
wants
at
to
all.
know how much it's going to cost me, and is this something that I should be concerned about?
Right.
Which is smart.
Okay. It was real, like, when we left yesterday, I was like, okay, we could do this online. Like, there was no excitement here.
Yeah.
I seemed to be more excited than he was.
Right.
So, leaving the experience, I was like, why don't we just do this online? Like, he didn't even want to test drive the car.
Right. So my thought on why kids today are in this is just another impact of the internet, how the internet has changed the world. It is the ability to move to a different city and still maintain relationships with your existing friends because you can get on FaceTime or you can get on Xbox Live and still talk to your boy in a regular everyday fashion. You're not paying long distance to
Right.
call your friends. You could talk to them every day just like you were when you lived in the same town.
Right.
So the internet has allowed us to maintain relationships and stay connected. Whereas when we were growing up, cars meant freedom. It meant the ability to go see somebody,
Yeah.
to go do a thing. And I find that kids today don't necessarily value going to a place and seeing somebody as they do the shared experience of putting the cans on and gaming.
Right, because they've got FaceTime. Like, instead of going and driving to this person, I can be in the comfort of my home, you can be in the comfort of your home, but we can still see each other. And, as we've seen, like, they can be on FaceTime for 5 hours doing absolutely nothing, like literally spending time together, but not actually in the same house.
Right.
Which is crazy.
And in the sense of dating, that has to be a huge cataclysmic change because you can save the commute. Is it even worth leaving the house yet by how, the talks that you might have face to face with
That's
a person before you actually go?
Yeah. But that should be left for another conversation.
That will be on another conversation.
Yeah. That's a deep one.
Yeah. And my point is 2 points. Number one, bravo, son, because I see the financial talks we've been having coming through. And 2, get your damn license because I'm not going to be driving you around everywhere. And to all the kids and all the parents who are dealing with this, maybe your kids are coming of this age, just realize that maybe they're not going to be in such a rush as we were because the world has changed. Kids aren't getting their licenses as fast. It's not as high a priority. I'm seeing it in multiple families. It just is one way that the world has changed. Don't be surprised when it comes to your house.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.